Hey guys, Jack here and welcome to Alexandria, Egypt.
I met a guy in the hostel named Alexander who wanted to read a book about Alexander the Great in Alexandria at the Library of Alexandria. So that was our first stop for the day. Being in Alexandria, I was looking forward to learning more about Egypt's history aside from ancient Egypt, so I headed over to the Citadel of Qaitbay to learn about the fort that once defended this town.
So I'm at the Citadel in Alexandria. Turns out they don't accept cash as a ticket, only Visa. I don't have any Visa cards on me, so my debit card, so I'd use that. Wasn't a big fan, but it's very pretty. It's open from 9 in the morning to 8 in the evening, so you can get here pretty much any time. I walked here 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go about and explore along the perimeter wall here. And then I'm gonna go inside. I think the rest of the crew from the hostel's here too. So if they're here, we'll say hello.
Like so many forts that we had seen so far, this was a beautiful location on the sea, and it was hard to imagine being a soldier ready for war as the first point of contact against an invading army. The fort was built around the prayer hall, which served as its mosque, and the minaret still stands high above the hall.
So apparently this hole here was used both as an aircraft and to pour hot oil on the enemies that were trying to invade the citadel.
The fort was designed to defend against the Turks and the Ottomans. Unfortunately, it ultimately fell to the British Empire in the 1800s, and it was allowed to deteriorate until the Egyptian government decided to restore it in the 1950s and 1980s.
Hey guys, so it's full day 2, I think it is, in Alexandria. I'm here at the catacombs now. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Joe and I have split up, just parted ways. She's in Jordan right now, learning to dive. And I'm here exploring about a week's extra worth of history in Cairo. Nothing bad happened, just we wanted to go do different things. So she's off getting a diving cert in the Red Sea, and I'm exploring a bit more of the history here in Egypt, which, you know, I mean, she's missing out on dogs like that one right over there. But, you know, sorry Joe, you missed some. Win some, you lose some. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying time in Cairo or in Egypt. And I'm in Alexandria, about to go down to the catacombs.
The catacombs were built during Alexander the Great's time and combined aspects of Greek, Roman, and Egyptian mythology. Unfortunately, the excavations look like they just took the tombs out of the ground and left them on the surface with no organization whatsoever, really looking like it was littered rather than deliberately planned. Even so, it was amazing to see how the different religious beliefs impacted each other here in Alexandria, which is known as Egypt's intersection of Roman, Greek, and Egyptian history.
pretty interesting, these catacombs, because there's burial site after burial site. They're not painted or decorated or anything, but they just kind of like go, quite a bit in my opinion. Most people say it's small, but this is new to me. But interestingly, like, this was discovered by accident, basically. So the fact that all this was here and no one knew is just astounding to me. Does it make me a real explorer now that I have a pen light to use, courtesy of Joe? I hope so.
Unfortunately, an Egyptian police officer confiscated that pen light as I tried to leave the country. For some reason, he said it wasn't allowed on the plane. Even though most of the burial artifacts have been removed from the tombs, it was still really cool to spend a day exploring this underground complex that we didn't know existed until 1900, when a donkey fell through a shaft, introducing the world to the catacombs. Before heading to lunch, I stopped at the Pillar of Pompeii, which is named after a Roman emperor. While the site itself is in ruins, the actual pillar is the only monument remaining in Alexandria to be in its original place. At the recommendation of my friend Tahli, I decided to check out the Roman theater in town. This complex contained more than just the Roman theater. It also contained an art school, a Roman baths, and a small community. Not all of the ruins were open to the public, as many of them were still under archaeological excavation. While it was a little disappointing, it's something I really appreciated. It was something that Joe and I had talked about many times in our travels, where we would be walking through ruins where people had no concern for the historical or archaeological value they provided. I talked about this a lot with Tahli, herself an archaeology major in Australia. In her perspective, while we need to protect the sites, we also need to use them for tourism to help benefit the local economy and fund future archaeological exploration. It's a delicate balance that's hard to strike, and these countries really are doing the best they can.
Hey guys, so it's my last full day in Alexandria. I'm gonna hit up the National Museum of Alexandria if I can find it, and the Greco-Roman Museum. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to film in there, but we'll see. But I'm allowed to see, hear the great things about them, so here's hoping. Also on my own, and I'm a guide, unlike the last museum, so we'll see how much I can understand when I go in there. At the very least, hopefully get some cool pictures of some artifacts.
As luck would have it, that was an ill-fated endeavor because every elementary school class in the city was out visiting the museums that day. So I headed back to the hostel to prepare for my trip back to Cairo.
Hey guys, Jack here. Thanks for watching The Great Gallivanting. If you like that video, hit the subscribe button, drop us a like, and check out the description for more videos, vlogs, and links to all of our gear. See you guys on the road.